And on this Friday, Junior, welcome in everyone. 6 o'clock. Jason and Jen here with you, counting down towards the weekend. We got the Twin Cities Marathon coming up.
Big weekend.
Big weekend.
And it's looking like summer, John. I thought we were done with 80s.
I know. And first off, I'm very sorry to everybody that has to run in that. I know we want it cooler. It's going to be a warm start, too. Today, kiddos, jacket free pretty much. 60s again. Remember, the average high is in the middle to upper 60s. We're sitting at 63 right now, so definitely a warm morning at the bus stop. I always love these. I don't do the bus stop anymore. I did it last year. I kind of miss it. I just remember this is a small period where you can enjoy those warm starts, so go ahead and enjoy this one. Why is it cooler out there? Well, they don't have cloud cover in southwest Minnesota, so that is going to be the story today. Sun slowly overtaking the cloud deck you can see here in the Twin Cities, but it is going to take its sweet time. Clouds are going to hang tough actually this morning through round one, then breaking into the sunshine. There'll be a few breaks in here, but more sunshine to end the afternoon. Going to be a great end of the day today at 71 degrees. We'll talk about the 80s in my forecast. Megan?
Sounds like a plan. We are looking at 94 and 55 in Minneapolis right now. The city looking very pretty in the background there. Love to see those lights. We aren't dealing with anything like fog, no rain this morning, so it's been a really great morning out there on the roads. You can see that here. We have lots of green to show you. No major crashes at the moment. So we'll take a look at some drive times in just a few minutes. Jason?
All right, Megan, thank you very much. Our big story this morning, a Minnesota man who was accidentally released from jail in Indiana is now sitting in a Hennepin County jail cell this morning.
Yeah, authorities right here in the Twin Cities caught murder suspect Kevin Mason yesterday afternoon after a 2-week-long nationwide manhunt. This is Mason's new mugshot, released less than 9 hours ago. Cece's been tracking new developments in this case overnight. She's at the jail right now with the latest. Cece?
Good morning, guys. So this morning, Mason's being held here at the Hennepin County Jail, and actually in a few hours, he'll make a court appearance this afternoon at 1:30. So he's back in Minnesota now, but let's take a look at his journey to get back here. If you take a look at this map here, you'll see that in a span of 2 weeks, Mason traveled nearly 600 miles from Indiana to South St. Paul, where U.S. Marshals arrested him yesterday at an apartment on Summit Avenue. Now, authorities say they had enough information and surveillance to get a warrant to enter that apartment. And this morning, we're still working to learn who Mason was staying with and how he got back to Minnesota. But the reason he was wanted is because he's accused of murdering a man at a funeral in Minneapolis back in 2021. He was on the run for 2 years after that, up until earlier this month when he was arrested out in Indiana. 2 days later, a clerical error led him to being released on September 13th by mistake. So as mentioned, Mason back here in Minnesota this morning, taken into custody in South St. Paul yesterday. And in about 30 minutes, we're going to hear from people who were in the area while he was being taken into custody. Guys.
Yeah, quite the development. 2 weeks is a long time for a murder suspect to be on the run. Thank you, Cece.
This morning, 2 students are facing charges after being caught with loaded guns at Roseville High School. Here's what we know so far.
I'm Gordon Severson. 2 students at Roseville High School were arrested this week for having loaded guns at school. According to court records, school staff found the first gun, which was reportedly stolen, on Monday morning in a 17-year-old's backpack. The second gun was found Monday afternoon on a 16-year-old. Court records show that gun had an extended magazine with 14 rounds inside. Both students have been charged, and the school district is deciding whether to expel them.
6:04, and you're looking at a live picture right now from Washington, D.C., where lawmakers have just 48 hours to make a deal and avoid a government shutdown. But Congress doesn't appear to be any closer this morning. Separate short-term spending bills are working their way through the House and the Senate, but each version is destined to fail in the opposite chamber. If a bill to fund the government is not passed, the shutdown would begin Saturday morning. It's just 2 days to reach that deal now, and Eva is breaking down potential impacts here in Minnesota in just 30 minutes. Well, meanwhile, about 8 hours ago, the second GOP presidential debate wrapped up in California. 7 Republican presidential hopefuls battled for a breakout moment. As the candidates took the stage at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, the party's frontrunner was once again absent. That, of course, former President Donald Trump, who refused to attend, but is still up in the polls right now by 40 points. The candidates took aim at him and President Biden, who drew criticism on everything from the economy to border security.
Donald Trump is missing in action. He should be on this stage tonight.
Joe Biden waved the green flag. It told everybody to come. And now we've seen 6 million people cross the border. We've had more fentanyl that have killed Americans in the Iraq, Vietnam, or Afghanistan wars combined.
Wages are not keeping up with inflation. Auto workers and all American workers are feeling it, and families are struggling in this economy.
Well, instead of attending the debate, former President Trump visited with United Auto Workers in Michigan. The next debate is November 8th in Miami, and Trump has already said he does not plan on attending that debate either.
Right now, Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon is among those sounding the alarm on the use of AI to spread election misinformation. Simon was one of 5 election integrity experts who testified in the U.S. Senate Rules Committee in D.C. As we told you yesterday in a live interview right here on Sunrise, he was invited by Senator Amy Klobuchar, who chairs that panel. She has introduced a bipartisan bill to crack down on the use of AI to commit election fraud.
And in the hands of those who want to mislead, AI is a new and improved tool. Instead of stilted communications with poor grammar, generative AI can provide apparent precision and clarity.
Earlier this year, a deepfake video you're seeing here of Senator Elizabeth Warren falsely showed her saying Republicans shouldn't be allowed to vote. That video had over 200,000 views on Twitter before it was taken down.
On Monday, striking actors and Hollywood film studios will be heading back to the negotiating table. SAG-AFTRA made that announcement about 12 hours ago. Several executives from the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers will attend the meetings. It comes after the Writers Guild of America reached a tentative deal. SAG-AFTRA says it is reviewing the WGA agreement.
After several delays, the St. Paul City Council passed a smoking ban. The ordinance bans smoking tobacco or marijuana in city parks and within 25 feet of entrances to public buildings and workplaces. It does allow the director of St. Paul Parks and Recreation to create designated smoking areas. The ban goes into effect 30 days after the mayor signs it.
The Twin Cities Marathon is almost here, and with it, a warning about the heat. We've been talking about it all week. Marathon officials say more medical staff than ever before will be along the route with more water stops. They're asking the thousands of registered runners to stay hydrated, potentially slow their pace, and to make good decisions.
We prepare throughout the year to make sure we have a best-in-class public safety experience. And then ultimately, when we get a forecast like this, we've engaged protocols from before the start till after the finish to assure that runners are appropriately cooled and hydrated.
And thousands will be putting on their running shoes and getting active, some of them for the very first time. But as you know, every journey starts with that very first step. Throughout the morning here on Sunrise, you're going to hear from marathon runners of all different experience levels. Here's what Amy Lippert-Hoffman wished she would have known on her first time out.
Vaseline, Band-Aids, Body Glide, those are your best friends. And then there will be checkpoints where they will hand you like Vaseline on popsicle sticks. Do a little pit stop, check your areas, and throw some on.
All your runners out there, you know exactly what those areas are. We don't have to spell it out for you. KARE 11 is your streaming home for this year's Medtronic Twin Cities Marathon. More Than a Marathon Live starts at 6:30 Sunday morning, featuring KARE 11's Rena Sargentopoulos and Sharon Yu. You can stream on the KARE 11 Plus app on Roku, Fire, and Apple TV, on KARE11.com and the KARE 11 YouTube channel. Should be a great run. It's